Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Rama
Hare Krishna devotees, please accept my humble obeisance of Shri Prabhupada. Welcome to devotees on morning Bhagavatam class. This morning we continue with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, verse 9. And the chapter is entitled The Punishment and Reward of Kali. And we have Mother Gita with us from ISKCON Atlanta. Hare Krishna Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances of Shri Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Please accept.
And it's all yours, Mother.
This is our grace to Srila Prabhupada. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Jaya Gurudeva Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahams Parivrajakacarya Hastotvarshat Srimad His Divine Grace C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद जय द्वैत गदाधर शिवसदि गौर भक्तवृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय मायापुर धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगा माई की जय यमुना माई की जय तुलसी देवी की जय संवेद भक्त वृंद की जय निताय गौ प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Excuse me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraya Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 17, verse number 9. Ma Saurabheyatra Shucho Yetu Te Vrashaladbhayam Marodir Amba Bhadram Te Khala Namai Shastari Ma Saurabhyatra Shucho Yetu Te Vrashaladbhayam Marodir Amba Bhadram Te Khala Namai Shastari Ma Saurabhyatra Shucho Yetu Te Vrashaladbhayam Marodir Amba Bhadram Te Khala Namai Shastari. Ma, do not, Saurabhya, O son of Surabhi, Atra, in my kingdom, Shuchaha, lamentation, Vyetu, let there be, te, your. Brashalat, by the Shudra. Bhayam, cause of fear. Ma, do not. Rodhi, cry. Amba, mother cow. Bhadram, all good. Te, unto you. Khalanam, of the envious. Mai, while I'm living. Shastari, the ruler of subduer. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O son of Surabhi, you need lament no longer now. There is no need to fear this low-class Shudra. And, O mother cow, as long as I'm living as the ruler and subduer of all envious men, there is no cause for you to cry. Everything will be good for you. Purport. Protection of bulls and cows and all other animals can be possible only when there is a state ruled by an executive head like Maharaj Parikshit. Maharaj Parikshit addresses the cow as mother, for he is a cultured, twice-born Kshatriya king. Surabhi is the name of the cows which exist in the spiritual planets and are specially reared by Lord Sri Krishna himself. As men are made after the form and features of the Supreme Lord, so also the cows are made after the form and features of the Surabhi cows in the spiritual kingdom. In the material world, the human society gives all protection to the human being, but there is no law to protect the descendants of Surabhi who can give all protection to men by supplying the miracle food, milk. But Maharaj Parikshit and the Pandavas were fully conscious of the importance of the cow and bull, and they were prepared to punish the cow killer with all chastisement, including death. There has sometimes been agitation for the protection of the cow, but for want of pious executive heads and suitable laws, the cow and the bull are not given protection. The human society should recognize the importance of the cow and the bull, and thus give all protection to these important animals, following in the footsteps of Maharaj Parikshit. For protecting the cows and Brahmanical culture, the Lord, who is very kind to the cow and the Brahmanas, Go Brahmana Hitaya, will be pleased with us and will bestow upon us real peace. Translation once again. O son of Surabhi, you need lament no longer now. There is no need to fear this low-class Shudra. And, O mother cow, as long as I'm living as the ruler and subduer of all envious men, there is no cause for you to cry. Everything will be good for you. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunritamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Could you please unshare the screen? Thank you so much. So we see here, this chapter is entitled Punishment and Reward of Kali. This verse, we see that Parikshit Maharaj is addressing the bull as the son of Surabhi. Srila Prabhupada says Surabhi is also known as Kamadhenu. She's the mother of all cows, and she lives in spiritual world and is able to provide whatever is desired. But that's in the spiritual world. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, chapter 8, verse 1, it says that Shukadev Goswami continued, upon Lord Shiva's drinking the poison, both the demigods and the demons, being very pleased, began to churn the ocean with renewed vigor. As a result of this, there appeared a cow known as Surabhi. So this is how Surabhi cow appeared, and she lives in the spiritual world. Srila Prabhupada says that Surabhi is also known as Havirdhani, which means a source of butter. And butter is needed for fire sacrifice. You know, when we perform yajnas, we use ghee, right? Butter produces ghee, so the ghee is used in fire sacrifices. If you remember in the Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, verse number 5, Krishna tells Arjuna that yagna, dana, tapa, karma, all these should not be given up. Sacrifice, charity, austerity, these all are very essential, very important in our lives. And why? Because when we perform these, what do we perform? Sacrifice, charity, and penance or austerity, then it'll bring peace and prosperity in the society. Why is it that most people are disturbed, lamenting, distressed, not peaceful, not happy, there's not much prosperity? Is because people are not following the simple instruction given by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita that sacrifice, charity, and austerity should not be given up. Now, in the fire sacrifice, when yagna is possible when there is sufficient milk is produced, and that is possible only when there are sufficient cows, right? So cow protection is recommended, as we can see in this verse. Even Srila Prabhupada explains the importance of protecting the cows. In this verse that we read today, Maharaj Parikshit is trying to console the cow and the bull and is saying, "O son of Surabhi," which means the bull, there is no need for you to lament any longer. There's no need to be afraid of this low caste Shudra who's dressed as a king and is beating you. So he is in fact indirectly or directly telling the cow and the bull, I will protect you. And Prabhupada says protection of cow and bull is possible when there is a ruler like Maharaj Parikshit. And Parikshit Maharaj addresses the cow as mother. Why? Because, as Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport, because Parikshit Maharaj is cultured. He is spiritually enlightened. He's not the head or the ruler or the controller, just to do his material duties. No, he's Krishna conscious also. He's spiritually enlightened. He has spiritual knowledge. So he's not just taking care of his material duties, but at the same time, he's taking care of spiritual duties also. What are the spiritual duties? So in the Srimad Bhagavatam it states that one should not be a king or the head or the parent, mother or father or a spiritual master if one is not able to deliver their dependence. So as parents, it is our, duty, our responsibility to liberate our dependents. So here, Parikshit Maharaj being the ruler, the king, he knew that all living entities are under his protection because they are in his kingdom. That includes the animals, the cows and the bulls also. So Parikshit Maharaj being Krishna conscious, he had even the knowledge that the cows are descendants of Surabhi that lives in the spiritual world. And he also knew that Surabhi is taken care of by Krishna himself in Goloka Vrindavan. Go means cow, Loka means abode. It is also an abode of the cows, Goloka Vrindavan, the highest spiritual planet where Krishna resides. So Krishna rears these cows himself. And Prabhupada makes a very nice point, besides all other points. He says, just like man is made in the image of God, cows are made in the image of Surabhi cows. And it is very unfortunate that in this material world, protection of human beings is very important. No importance is given or no one cares about taking care of animals, protecting the animals. In fact, there is no law existing. Prabhupada says in his purport, there's no law existing that cow protection must be done. Those who do not protect the cows will be punished. There's no such law at all. Why so much importance is given to cows? Because cow gives us milk. It's a miracle food. And because the cow gives us milk, is considered a mother. In fact, I was hearing a lecture on this verse, and Maharaj was saying that once Indra asked a question to Lord Brahma, why is the spiritual world called Goloka? And why so many cows are there in Goloka Vrindavan? That was his question. And Brahma explained that Aditi, she performed severe austerities because she wanted Lord Vishnu as her son. And it is said that Daksha, he gave the position of daughter to Surabhi because she was born from his mouth. So when Surabhi saw Aditi performing such severe austerities, she went to Kailash. And she also started performing severe austerities, standing on 2 legs. And because her austerities were so severe that there was imbalance in the creation. And because of that, the demigods approached Surabhi and said, please, please stop these austerities. There's so much imbalance. What do you want? What can we give you? Surabhi said, I don't need anything. My desires are completely fulfilled. I have no desires at all. And Lord Brahma was very pleased with her, this conscious state of consciousness, that in spite of performing such severe austerities, she didn't want any boon. Mostly people, when they do something in this material world, they are looking for results because they want to enjoy those results. So here she said, I don't want anything. So Lord Brahma gave her a boon that you will get a residence in Goloka Vrindavan and on the earthly planet also. And he also said, I give you a boon that anyone who gives cow in charity will go to Goloka Vrindavan. That is the importance of cow in Vedic scriptures. Very, very important. And we have also heard from Srila Prabhupada that demigods reside in cows. In fact, one time, Lakshmi ji wanted to reside in the cow. And the cow said, no, 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 no. We don't want you to reside in us because we don't want opulence. Lakshmi ji means opulence, right? Lots of money, lots of jewelry, gold, etc. A lot of opulence. So they said, no, no, no. We are very simple. We don't want any opulence. Why? Because you're very fickle. You're here today, tomorrow you're gone. Haven't we noticed that? Lakshmi ji, she's there sometimes, then afterwards she's gone, and then she'll come back, and then she'll be gone. So they said, no, 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 we don't want that. You're very fickle. That made her very angry. She said, how dare you dishonor me? Is this how you speak to me? People perform severe austerities to attain me. How many people in this material world are craving for money, wanting opulence? They will go to any length to get some opulence, to get some money, because people think money makes you happy. So the cow said, no, 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 we are not dishonoring you. We are just happy. We don't need any opulence. That's why we don't want. Then finally, after a long time, the cows agreed. They said, okay, we will give you the best and the purest place to stay in us. And what is that? The cow dung. And Lakshmi ji was very happy. Everything about the cow is very auspicious, very important. Whether it is her milk, her urine, her cow dung, whatever you may take. It is said, I was hearing, that there was this very famous person called Tenali Rama. He was a poet, he was a scholar, he was a thinker, he was an advisor. And he was in a place called Vijayanagar in the court of Krishna Devaraya. So one time a question was put to Tenali Rama. And what was the question? Which animal's milk is the best? I have a question to all of you today. What do you think? Which animal's milk is the best? Any answer?
Cow mother?
Cow milk.
He said no.
Buffalo?
Yes.
That was
So
my
he
next
was
guess.
asked, so he was asked why cow is the best animal. He said because cow does not come in the category of animals. So we cannot say cow's milk is one of the best of the animals. No. Cows are from the spiritual world. They do not come in the category of animals. So he said, that is why I said buffalo, because after cow, buffalo milk is the best. And that is what he said. But the first thought that comes to our mind is, it's cow's milk. Excuse me. In fact, Srila Prabhupada says that in Vedic times, animals were given full protection. There was no slaughtering of animals for sense gratification. People were conscious. Even Parikshit Maharaj was conscious that the animals need protection. So he was ready to punish Kali, who was dressed as a king. He understood this as a Shudra. How many times are we able to recognize people for who they are? It's very difficult, to understand. Sometimes it takes a lot of communication, a lot of interaction, then we realize, oh, so-and-so is like this, or that one is like that. It takes someone to have that special, what you can say, talent of recognizing people. Parikshit Maharaj could recognize. He said, this is actually a Shudra who's dressed as a king. Excuse me. So just like Parikshit Maharaj, the society should understand importance of cow protection, follow in the footsteps of Parikshit Maharaj. Only then, Prabhupada says, Krishna will bestow real peace. We have the peace formula in Bhagavad Gita, right? Bhoktaram yagna tapasam sarvaloka maheshwara. Suridam sarvabhutanam gnatva mam shantim richati. Shanti. Peace formula. We know it. But here we get some more instruction that if we want real peace, if we want Krishna to bestow real peace, then we need to follow in the footsteps of Parikshit Maharaj and protect the cows, protect the animals. So here we see that Parikshit Maharaj, he is giving assurance to the cow and the bull that I will protect you. So even beginning of Kali, we could see the main agenda was to kill the cow and bulls as Kali Yuga was approaching. And we can see this culture is very prevalent now. More cow killing is taking place. More slaughterhouses, Prabhupada says, organized slaughterhouses have been opened. And as a result, the world is filled with all kinds of calamities. And what's the root cause? Ignorance. Most people in Kali Yuga are ignorant. They have no spiritual knowledge. It is said in Vedic culture, out of 10 Shudras, 1 Vaishya is born, in the sense cultivated. Out of 10 Vaishyas, 1 Kshatriya. Out of 10 Kshatriyas, 1 Brahmana. So that means if we calculate out of 1,000 Shudras, 100 Vaishyas, 10 Kshatriyas, and 1 Brahmana. That is the situation. Especially in Kali Yuga, we hardly find Brahmanas. Thanks to Srila Prabhupada, he gave us the process. In fact, he even said when he came to the West that I have come to make Malechas into Brahmanas. He wanted to make qualified Brahmanas, not by birth. right? Not by birth, not that I'm born in a Brahmana family, so I'm a Brahmana. No, not by birth. So he gave us a process by which we can purify ourselves. In fact, Krishna has given us the qualities of a Brahmana in Bhagavad Gita, so that we can get the knowledge and try to cultivate those qualities in ourselves. Then we can be called a Brahmana. So who is a Brahmana? Is a learned person who has spiritual culture. It's not that, is wearing a Brahman thread and has a shikha and is born in a Brahmana family, so is a Brahmana. No. A Brahmana, by qualifications, is spiritually cultured properly. And not only that, is able to educate others. And this is very rare. To find such a Brahmana is very rare, who is not only qualified as a Brahmana, but is also preaching others to become Brahmanas. So in Kali Yuga, mass is ignorant. And if the mass is ignorant, how can they choose a wise leader? Doesn't make any sense, right? So because of ignorance, people are not able to choose a wise leader. And as a result, the world situation is becoming more and more critical. So we can see Kali Yuga is systematically presenting its influence. We can see that. I know when I was little, when I was a teenager or whatever, and now there's a huge difference in what the world was then and what it is now. And as per the scriptures, we can understand it's going to get worse and worse and worse. Unqualified people taking position, high positions, unqualified people calling themselves as Brahmanas. In Garuda Puran, there's a statement, it says that demons take birth in Brahmana family. What a powerful sentence. Demons take birth in Brahmana family. And what is the result? They destroy Brahmanican culture. In the name of Vedas. Oh, it's given in the Vedas. I'm just following the Vedas. That's why Krishna had to come down as Lord Buddha, to wean people away from Vedas, because they were misusing the instructions given in the Vedas. So this is how Vedic scripture is very, very important. Gives us knowledge, gives us spiritual knowledge, so we can understand how to lead this human form of life. Human form of life is not for eat, sleep, and be merry. No. Human life is meant for self-realization. We have philosophical intelligence so that we can differentiate between right and wrong, good and bad. And along with that, Krishna has given us the Bhagavad Gita. Srila Vyasadeva has given us Srimad Bhagavatam, so we can get this knowledge and lead a proper human form of life, following the Vedic scriptures. Now, in this particular verse, there is a word called khalanam, means of the envious people. And we see Parikshit Maharaj, he is using this word that I will kill all the envious ones. He could recognize. Mostly, we are unable to recognize envy. We are expert in recognizing it in others, but we forget to recognize it within ourselves. That is the difference. So here, Parikshit Maharaj is saying, I will kill all the envious ones. Excuse me. Envy. We've heard about this in the Bhagavad Gita. Envy is actually a very deep-rooted anartha in our hearts. Very deep-rooted. Deep-rooted means hard to remove. The most deep-rooted. It is said it's easy to give up tea, coffee, etc., 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 but difficult to give up envy. And because of envy, Prabhupada says, we take birth again and again and again. Right? We've heard that in the spiritual world, all those who were envious of the Supreme Lord had to come down to this material world and take birth again. And we are one of those. So envy is very deep-rooted, and most of the time we are unable to recognize envy. Envy is something, it's called a weed, when we have, say, I have a rose plant and I've grown it and I'm watering it and everything. But if I don't remove the weeds, the plant is going to get weak. We need to remove those weeds. So these anarthas in the heart, like envy, is that weed that needs to be pulled out. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains. So, Parikshit Maharaj, we see, he captured envy personified. Shudra dressed as a king. Why is envy mentioned in the scriptures? We cannot understand Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam if we are envious. This is what Srila Prabhupada says. And even we cannot even start our devotional service if we are envious. It's that important to remove envy from the heart. In fact, Bhagavad Gita, in the beginning of 9th chapter, verse 1, Krishna says, Arjuna, I'm giving you this most confidential knowledge. Why? Because you are not envious. Anasuyave. You are not envious. That is why I'm giving you this knowledge. So, Srila Prabhupada says we are in this material world because of envy. And that is why it is difficult for us to understand Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, the other Vedic scriptures, very difficult to understand because there is envy in the heart. It may be in a smaller degree, larger degree, that does not matter. Matsara. In this verse, there is a word called nirmatsara. Matsara means envious. Nirmatsara means non-envious. What is non-envious? Non-envious. Now I'm talking about this word nirmatsara. It's in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 1, Verse 2, where qualifications of studying Srimad Bhagavatam is given. Who is qualified to study Srimad Bhagavatam? There's this word called nirmatsara. That for us to be able to understand Srimad Bhagavatam, one has to be non-envious, 100% pure in heart. So, what is envy? It's a big $1 million question, because if we don't know what is envy, how will we remove it from the heart? People generally say, I'm not envious. Other people are envious of me. I'm not envious of anyone. If anyone says, I'm not in Maya, that means you're definitely in Maya. If someone says, I'm not envious, that means definitely envious. Because we have that disqualification, we know what it is, we can recognize it in others. Otherwise, how can we recognize? Because it is there. If I'm proud, only then I'll be able to recognize who is proud. If I don't have pride, how will I recognize pride in others? Because I don't know what it is. So envy is, you can say, our greatest enemy on the spiritual path. Matsara. Nirmatsara means non-envious. Matsara means envious. Matsara is also another name for fish. And Prabhupada says fish is very envious. Big fish will see small fish and will soon think, oh, if I don't eat the small fish, soon it'll become big and it'll try to eat me. So better I eat it now before it grows big. Let me eat this small fish now. This is envy. Sridhar Swami says that envy is when a person cannot tolerate anyone who's better than us. What a strong word, tolerate. If I see someone more opulent than me, oh, that hurts me. I cannot tolerate it. That is envy. Oh, this person sings so beautifully. I cannot tolerate that. That is envy. Something that someone else is better than we are. Then the heart starts burning with envy. That is what envy does. That person is being glorified. Why not me? I'm better than that person. I should be glorified. That is envy. So Sridhar Swami says that happens when one wants something that other person has and I don't have it, like success, position, it could be anything, money, big house, big car, whatever it could be. I want it because I don't have it. That is envy. So what is the result of that? Person doesn't realize the effect of envy on one's consciousness, and then one tries to pull that person down so that I can go up. If I bring someone down, then it'll give me a better chance of going up and to be able to show, look, I'm better than you. So when we criticize, especially the devotees, we have to be very careful. It's because of envy. Yes, those who are in a position of authority, maybe temple president, temple commander, whoever it may be, if they are in that authorized position, then they can try to rectify those under them. Rectify. That's not criticism. That is to help the others, the dependents, to try and increase their state of consciousness, become more Krishna conscious, you see? But if we are not in that position of authority, how can we criticize? And criticizing devotees is considered offense, which destroys our spiritual lives. Envy is very, very dangerous. You got to identify it, catch it, throw it out of the heart. How to do that? A very simple example Prabhupada gives. Say, supposing I'm envious of Anasuya. I am not, but I'm just saying, supposing I'm envious of Anasuya. How can I remove that envy from my heart? The solution is, first of all, I pray to Krishna fervently. Please help me to remove this envy from my heart. Secondly, I genuinely appreciate Anasuya, genuinely appreciate all her good qualities. This way I can reduce the envy within my heart. That's a sure way to reduce envy. Serve that devotee that we are envious of. Serve genuinely with heart. And at the same time, keep praying to Krishna to please help remove this envy from my heart. It's important to identify it in time because it could thrive so much that it may become very difficult to control it. It thrives even amongst devotees. It's not just in the material world. So when we have that state of mind where we identify, yes, I am envious of so and so person. Let me pray to the Lord to please help me get rid of this anartha. Let me appreciate that devotee. Let me serve that devotee and also accept the fact that this is not a competition. I'm not competing with that devotee. That thought of competition also increases envy within the heart. So when, Anasuya sings very nicely, I'm going to get classical training and I'm going to make sure I sing better than her. No. Krishna has given each one of us different talents. Like I cannot sing, That's okay. I don't have that talent. We accept that. Now we need to understand envy is different from jealousy. Jealousy is when we are afraid of losing what we have. Okay. I don't have a boyfriend, but hypothetically, supposing I have a boyfriend, that boyfriend is talking to a beautiful girl. Jealousy, I might lose him to that girl. That is jealousy. That is different from envy. So here we see, even Prabhupada explains in the purport, that the cows and the brahmanas, they need to be protected. Only then Krishna will bestow real peace. If we want real peace. Now we have a choice. Do we want real peace? If yes, then we need to protect cows and brahmanas. This is what Krishna has required. He wants us to protect cows and brahmanas. Because cow is the mother that gives us a miracle food, which is milk, and brahmanas give us spiritual education, which is required. You see? So the verse again, excuse me. O son of Surabhi, you need lament no longer now. There is no need to fear this low-caste Shudra. And, O mother cow, as long as I am living as the ruler and subduer of all envious men, there is no cause for you to cry. Everything will be good for you. I'll stop here. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mother Gita, for such a wonderful class. Thank you for bringing up so many wonderful points, and especially differentiating, at least for me, jealousy and envy. That was really helpful. Thank you so much. Would like to ask devotees if any questions, any comments, any clarifications or doubts, please do raise your hand, or you can put it in the chat and I will be happy to read it. Yes, Krishna Smarnam Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Hare
All glories
Krishna,
to
please
Prabhupada,
accept
all glories
my
to Guru Maharaj.
glories.
So Mataji, every time I hear you, I always think, oh, Mataji is so nice. She gives such a nice lecture. Everything is so clear. And I can do that, So, of course, I'm not jealousy or anything, but I do appreciate it, how you developed and how you are giving such a nice lectures. So is it wrong to have aspirations, like maybe I want to do, I want to learn someday, maybe I can speak so clearly and everything. So is there like a spiritual envy than material envy? Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna Prabhu. See, what I am doing is what Prabhupada says, excuse me, a job of a postman, you can call postwoman, just taking the letter from one place and without any changes delivering it. So what I do is I just hear lectures on those verses that I'm about to speak on, and I just take all that knowledge and just pass it on. Nothing of my own except for maybe one or two realizations in between, but otherwise it's just as it is. So that's nothing great to do. Anyone can do that, take transcription of a lecture and then just repeat it. So that's the, and I know you, Prabhu, you are a wonderful devotee, and I know it's not envy at all. It's not even spiritual envy. Just as I was mentioning that Krishna has given us certain talents, right? And Anasuya, you don't know, but Krishna's Shanam sings very beautifully. So he has that talent, which I don't. That's why you see, I just sing for a minute because I know it sounds horrible, but he knows to sing, right? He has that talent. He has a talent of playing the harmonium, etc. So each one has their own talent, and we just use it in Krishna's service. So it's definitely not envy at all, not even spiritual envy. And thank you so much for appreciating, and thank you for your association for I don't know how many years, maybe 25 years or 30 years, I don't know. So thank you, Prabhu. Hari.
Thank you, Mataji, for your association and Prabhuji's association. Otherwise, I don't think we'll be in this Krishna conscious, not initiated, not find a guru or anything. We'll be just wandering, watching movies and playing games and everything. Thank you for bringing us from that world to this world. Thank you. Hare Krishna. I really appreciate you and Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu. But let me clarify. If it wasn't my husband and I, it would be someone else guiding you in Krishna consciousness, because it was there in your karma. You had accumulated that piety in your previous life to continue Krishna consciousness. So we all are, just, via media. If it wasn't me, it would be someone else. So it was there in your karma. So thank you.
So, Mataji, as you said, karma. So, how about some people? They, even you try to bring them in, then they don't come in. Is that their karma because they don't, they don't appreciate?
Yes, so I have heard this from many devotees that because of their past piety, they get an opportunity to continue bhakti, but then they make their own individual choice, right? Like Krishna has given us minute independence that we can choose, like in chapter 15, verse 15. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sanivishto mata smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Krishna says, I'm giving you remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. Now you choose, right? So we choose. So when we are preaching to others, we are giving them an opportunity that they have earned, but then they make a choice whether they want to accept that opportunity or let it go. Then they are creating more karma. Does that make sense?
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Very nice. Sweet exchange. Thank you. Mother, there's a question in the chat, and then I'll go to Leela Krishna Prabhu. Mataji, everyone wants to be better, to be better at whatever they do. They always get from the people they think are better from them. Is that envy?
See, if we live our lives based on what others think about us, we'll be very confused. It's important that we have some guidance from a teacher. Just like if I leave it to myself, I'll always say, I'm not envious. Nah, I'm not. I don't have that competitive spirit in me. I don't consider anyone less or better than. I may think like that. The mind may, trick us. So we do need guidance. So, yes, that what you say, not an idea, but that thought is there in the mind of people that I want to be better than others. Yes. But then that can be also very dangerous, because we can go in that flow and then we may not be able to recognize that we have completely gotten caught up with envy. You see? So if we are very steady in our Krishna consciousness, especially the strong morning program, attentive chanting, doing arti, reading Srila Prabhupada's books, staying in the association of devotees, then the chances of envy are very less. But if we stay with our own selves, then these chances of these thoughts it's possible to have these thoughts in our mind. So Prabhupada says spiritual competition is good. Like there is a competition between the gopis in the spiritual world, that is good. But then that's a very high level. For them, they see, oh, such gopi has made such a beautiful garland for Krishna. Let me also try to make a garland better than that. Not with the idea of putting that gopi down and putting oneself up, but that spiritual competition. So for us to identify spiritual competition is also very tricky. We do definitely need guidance. So in the material world, when people think I am better than someone else, or that one is better than me, so I need to be better than that person, then that definitely is envy. Yes, that is envy. I hope that helps.
She said, thank you, Mataji. You cleared so many clouds.
We all have many clouds. That.
That was very nice. Thank you so much. Very nice question too. Thank you. Anyone else has a question? Yes, I'm sorry. Alila Krishna Prabhu, please go ahead.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavot Pranam. So now might you think that why I bring this envy and jealous topic in the class? So my question is related with, usually we will say about the angerness, right? So angerness, what is the root cause of anger is our expectations and the desire. If it is not fulfilled, the angerness will be there. So what is the root cause for envy and jealous?
Yes, Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, where he says, when the senses come in contact with sense objects, there is attachment, there is a desire. And when that desire is not fulfilled, then there is anger. So the root cause is the senses are not under control and they are getting attracted to the sense objects. Srila Prabhupada explains that all this is because there's lust in the heart. Now, lust could be not just attracted to the opposite sex, but lust for position, power, money. It could be any kind of lust, you see. So that is the root cause. And what is the solution? Krishna says constant practice and detachment is what will help us to, stay away from this. So what I think that was your question. I forgot what was the other part of your question.
So yeah, so the part is that exactly, I think my mother, you already mentioned that about maybe the lust is the one. Envy and jealous is happening, right? And again, let me elaborate more is greedy is another word we frequently use in our thing. So sometimes the spiritual greediness is good, right? So I want to do more, but during doing that activity, we will have, let me enable my camera also, Matthew will see me. So during that, then you will realize that, okay, you are greedy for the more work, but someone is doing better than you, right? And now I'm the greedy to do more service, but at the same time, now I'm building that jealous and envy. Maybe it's someone else, but that was not the thought. But my overall thing is everything is done by cause of all causes is Krishna, right? Is that the Krishna is doing this? Because I was greedy for the work, but now I'm building this envy and jealous. But now I think, okay, jo hota hai, wo achhe ke liye hota hai. So now whatever is having, just take it, right? So that buildup of the greedy, jealous, anger, everything. But my thing was I greedy for service. So just
yeah,
right?
sure. It is good to be greedy for service, but then we have to draw a line, right?
Yeah.
Say, I'll give you an example. Yesterday we were at the temple Sunday feast lecture, and I like to serve prasadam. So I was standing there, and there was another Mataji also standing, and another Mataji, another. So there was someone else also who came. I also want to serve. I also want to serve. So that greed for service is there, but then we also have to be careful of Vaishnava etiquette, that we don't, it's like, oh, excuse me, I'm standing here only, I'm going to serve. It's my service. I want to serve because I'm greedy for service. No, we have to be considerate also. Now, how to come to that state of consciousness where we want to serve, but at the same time, we do not want to deprive other devotees of service. You see, that state of consciousness should be there. Okay, I want to serve, but there's another devotee who's very enthusiastic to serve. No problem, let her serve, right? We can find some other service. Instead of trying to say, no, I serve better. Look at the way how I'm serving rice to everyone. No.
I'm definitely not at that level. If I'm serving,
but we can reach that. We can try to reach that stage. And Prabhupada says, everything will fall in place when we start chanting attentively. Everything. We will see that our consciousness is getting more and more purified. Our thoughts are getting purified. Our desires are getting dovetailed to Krishna. So everything will fall in place if we can somehow or the other do attentive chanting. Okay,
Makes sense, Mataji. Thank you.
sure.
Mother Gita, if you allow me to share something that I just realized when Prabhu was asking his question and you were sharing your example about the prasadam serving and how we think, oh, but I can do better, or why did she bump me off, kind of a thing. And I remember my spiritual master, His Holiness Bhaktitirtha Swami, saying that we have to come to the level of wanting to share the mercy. He says that sometimes mercy is to be shared. It's not to be taken and keep it to ourselves, is what he said. It's meant to be shared. So I wanted to also share that.
Very beautiful. Yes, that's a nice way to think about it. Let me share the mercy. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mother. Pavitra Mataji, please go ahead with your question, Mother.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Gita Mataji. Please
Hare
accept my
Krishna.
humble obeisances.
Fine.
Mataji, we had a beautiful discussion on the importance of the cows and how the cow is actually not an animal, right? We treat her as a mother. So my question is that as devotees, we feel dearly about cow and go seva. But at the same time, we know that there is cow slaughter going around. And apart from just, what I do, like donate for go seva to different temples who have goshalas, what can we do like about the cow slaughter? I mean, I know that I cannot be an activist or anything like that. But other than being like a mute bystander and just being upset about the ongoing cow slaughter, how can I deal with this, distress that I feel about it?
Yes, one way I can think of is to educate others. So whomsoever you meet and you see that is, eating meat and, is a non-vegetarian. So you can, in a very gentle way, educate them, let them understand, as they say, drops of water make the ocean. So if we make that little effort with giving this knowledge about cow protection, what's the importance of cows based on the scriptures, then, little by little, by educating them. I know my sister, she does preaching on the phone. She gives 2 lectures every day on the phone. And so many people, she has made them vegetarians just by giving knowledge from Bhagavad Gita. That's it.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, like she said, she told me the other day, we were driving to the temple together. She said, I get very angry when I hear people are eating meat. I'm like, slow down, slow down. She said, is it wrong that I quickly tell them, stop eating meat? You don't know this. And no. She gets very upset when and they give up eating meat. They become vegetarians. So I said, as long as it's working, it's good,
Right.
Whatever you're saying, the tone that you're using. I mean, she's doing wonderful preaching. And she even preached to one young boy in his 20s to become a vegetarian. And within few weeks, he even had a Rath Yatra in his village. And he invited the whole village to come in Rath Yatra. He made laddus for the whole village and he offered it to the Lord and he distributed those laddus. It all started with stop eating meat. And that changed his consciousness. So educating, little by little, educating them why slaughtering the animals is so distressful. You see, giving them knowledge from Bhagavad Gita,
Right.
Bhagavatam. So that could be one way. I mean, it's not possible for you to go to each slaughterhouse and put the shutter down. That's not possible.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
that's not possible. But
Right.
see, it's good to carry the book called The Higher Taste, and that has the
Yes.
the table, right, of physiological reasons why, we are like herbivorous animals and not carnivorous animals. You see, that itself
Right.
it talks about karma, etc. So I generally distribute that book and open that page and show it to them. So that could be one way.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you
You're
so much.
welcome.
Thank you so much. Actually, very, very nice questions, and especially the questions on envy and jealousy, the root cause, and how to, evade them, eliminate them. Very, very, very nice. Thank you. Would like to ask devotees if any other questions, any, doubts, any clarification, please, don't feel shy. No question is a dumb question. And we all learn from it. Some of us might think that, oh, I've been practicing for so many, years, and that, few years, others long time, be dumb. Believe me, even those of us, and I'm sure Mother Gita can attest to this, even those of us who have been practicing for so many years, we still need reminders and we learn from each other's questions, regardless of how long we've been practicing.
Yes.
So please, yes, Prikshit, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Please accept our humble obeisances. All glory to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for this class. It was very, very nice, very seamless. So many pastimes that you talked about. The Surabhi pastime, especially the one that you went to Kailas to do the meditation. I didn't know about it. It was very nice to hear. But every time I hear pastimes I don't know about, I get super excited about it. Get even more. Because the Lord's servants do things to literally, show such excitement. The Lord himself his own pastimes, but his pastimes are with the devotees. So sometimes when that's one that's there, but the devotees themselves also doing pastimes connected, with service to the Supreme Personality of God is also very, very wonderful. I want to throw in one thing about cows that I heard from Chandramali Swami. And he said that cow killing, one cow being killed is as bad as 2 human beings being killed. To read that statement. And never again, this is until, do you remember? Did you hear that from
Yes, I
Chandramali
did.
Swami?
I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
now that you're mentioning it, I do
Yeah.
remember now. It's really bad.
It stresses the point of how bad it is to kill a cow. And yes, these higher taste book also. I'm glad, when I heard you say that it's a page, it's a table that, you when you distribute books, you open for people to see. That makes the point. It's just wonderful. I mean, I didn't know that now I'm going to actually search for that page and then they'll to use that too. But I know that the first part of higher taste really makes a case economically, spiritually, you name it, that the cow is better alive than dead. The first part of it is very, 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 very strong. So again, what is happening read is I really, really encourage you to read the first part. Of course, the menus, the recipes are wonderful. I mean, this is how I got very convinced about vegetarianism when I first came to Krishna consciousness. But the first half practically of a higher taste talks about how so much, how the world would benefit so much by just leaving the cow to be alive and serving the cow nicely. Hare Krishna. I just wanted to throw those 2 things. And thank you very much for this class.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Now, when you mentioned about the recipe, sometimes I use that also as an excuse to give the book. That if someone says, oh, I love Indian food. Oh, here is a book. There are Indian recipes. So then they'll end up reading about vegetarianism. Yes. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that nice book. Yeah, in fact, that is the first book I read, Mother, when I joined. And after that, then I went to SSR. But the higher taste sold me immediately because I was already into cooking at that time. So that was like sure in. He was like a shoe in for me. It was very quick.
Yes.
And then the SSR followed, suit, and that was it. It was very amazing book.
For
Any
people who
other
are getting,
questions?
a
Say
little
again?
thrown off. She keeps saying SSR. I mean, she means science of
Science of
self.
Self-Realization. Mother
Yeah,
Gita,
that's
as a
right.
book distributor, she knows.
I know, but for everybody listening that they may not know
Oh,
what
yeah, okay, yeah.
science of self-realization.
Yes, pretty strong book, amazing book. I'm till today, whenever anybody new comes to the Temple Mother, that's the first book I give.
Mhm.
That is like that. I personally, I feel that the SSR book is the prerequisite to Bhagavad Gita,
Hmm.
because I've heard devotees starting with the Bhagavad Gita and they come and say, oh, it's too high for them.
Mhm.
Because they need like a guide, like you said, we all need a guide. So we give them SSR and then it flows very smooth for them into the Gita. So that was one that I've noticed, that it helps them to really get into the Gita once they've read the book, once they've read the SSR. So that was a very, very strong book, amazing book. Any other questions from devotees? It's been such a very enlivening, wonderful discussion and questions from devotees. And I'm glad that we got good questions and doubts cleared. Clouds are clear. Yes, Preksha, go ahead.
But again, Krishna, can you just simply summarize the two definitions, envy and jealousy, just in a few words? Jealousy is this, envy is this. Thank you.
Yes. This is what I've heard from Srila Prabhupada also and from other devotees also, that jealousy is what we have and we are afraid of losing it, then that is jealousy. That's what is explained. And envy is, I want something that someone else has. Someone else is better than me and I want that, whatever that better is with someone else. So that's envy.
Thank you very much. I thought so, but I just wanted you to kind of, summarize so we can get it in just a bite-sized definition. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Like I said, I've enjoyed this class. Very, very, very nice interactive discussion. So nice, wonderful questions and so lively. And this is going to help us really meditate on this class all day. That's the beauty of coming together. And thank you to whoever created Zoom that you're using in Krishna's service. So nice. If there are no other questions, we thank you all so much for joining us. Vanchakaptivyascha, Kripasindhabevacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Have a wonderful day, devotees, and thank you so much, Mother Gita.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.